Hi there to all of you viewers of Equinoxe Television. 6 p.m. in Kumba in the Southwest region. It's time for the news. We thank you so much for joining us tonight. Our major stories this evening. Ink has been flowing, tongues wagging. Cameroonians asking questions following the audience granted a delegation of Catholic bishops by the Minister of State, Secretary General at the Presidency of the Republic, Ferdinand Gongo. The delegation of 7 bishops was led by the President of the National Episcopal Conference. Some Cameroonians think that move to the Unity Palace sharply contrasts with the recent position of the bishops of the Roman Catholic Church. The presence of the delegation of bishops from the National Episcopal Conference of Cameroon at the Unity Palace in an audience with the Minister Ferdinand Gongo. Cameroonians will be bringing to you those reactions in this news edition. And also in this edition, we tell you that Barrister Agbobala thinks a coalition of Anglophones will lead to the end of the Anglophone crisis. Those are our listeners, viewers. Details and more when we come back. Welcome back, viewers. Thank you so much for being with us. We just told you a while ago in the headlines that the presence of a delegation of bishops from the National Episcopal Conference of Cameroon at the Unity Palace in an audience with Minister Ferdinand Gongo, head of a special Buea campaign team, has sparked a wave of controversies across Cameroon, casting doubt on the credibility and neutrality of these men of God or pastors led by Archbishop Andrew Kea, almost contrasting their previous outings and those of their peers on the socio-economic realities of Cameroon. A reporter for me, Armstrong Sander, took the reactions of some Cameroonians and compared this report for the news.
Named at the head of a special campaign team for President Paul Biya ahead of the October 12, 2025 presidential election in Cameroon, State Minister Ferdinand Gongo, Secretary General at the Presidency of the Republic of Cameroon, has for several weeks today been receiving and interacting with delegations of opinion leaders to secure their support for Paul Biya. While the exercise unfolded with little public talk, the arrival of a delegation from the National Episcopal Conference of Cameroon has sparked a wave of controversy. Initially planned for Tuesday, the audience failed and only held on Wednesday, with many questioning what the bishops went to look for at the Unity Palace. An interrogation whose precedence is found in a March 28, 2025 resolution of the National Episcopal Conference of Cameroon, in which the bishops outlined 10 ideal qualities which the next president of Cameroon must possess.
One of the criteria reads, be capable of traveling the length and breadth of the country, visiting each region at least once during his term of office.
Qualities which to many Cameroonians automatically disqualifies the current occupant of the Unity Palace, hence controversial seeing these bishops at the same palace. According to public opinion, in a firefighting-like attempt, the Archbishop of the Bamenda Archdiocese, His Grace Andrew Kea, precised that they used an invitation to make their case.
The church itself is non-partisan, but the church continues to serve the people of the country. And I think this is our main message that we have brought here today, that the church itself is not partisan. And it is even forbidden by the Code of Canon Law for priests and bishops to belong to political parties. But we are not indifferent to the political situation in our country.
To buttress and clarify the National Episcopal Conference of Cameroon's presence, the Secretary General, His Lordship Paul Nyaga, released a final communique in which he revealed that the bishops reiterated their consistent position expressed in the pastoral letters of 11th of February 2025 and of March the 28th, 2025. Furthermore, according to him, the President of the National Episcopal Conference of Cameroon reaffirmed that the Catholic Church is not partisan but is committed to its mission.
In the same line, His Royal Majesty for Sokuju Jean Ramo, King of the Bamanju people of the West region, sadly criticizes traditional rulers of the West region of the country who abandoned their people, according to him, the village also and its customs and traditions, to travel to Yaoundé to express their support for the candidacy of President Paul Biya in the upcoming presidential election in Cameroon. In a statement, the famous and long-reigning monarch in Cameroon, they cannot mask this shameful act of abandoning the people of all strata to eat with the Yaoundé regime. Innocent Aze has more.
The traditional ruler of the Bamenju people in the West region finds it incomprehensible how chiefs who are custodians of the customs and tradition in the West region will abandon their villages and travel to Yaoundé to support the candidacy of 92-year-old President Paul Biya for the October 12 presidential election. His Royal Majesty Sokoju Jean Ramo raises strong condemnation. It is only the back of the pot that is dirty, not the backs of the pots. Some chiefs from the West region went to Yaoundé under the name of our traditional rulers to mourn Aijo and his wife. I, Sokoju, did not send anyone and gave no such message. Someone should quickly remove my name from this before I understand. Where did we meet before I sent you? Are you going to trample on physics to wipe on everyone's face? Can't you simplify your own bodies? You throw your father's chairs in the village so they can take you to and from school. Look how a village is being lost. In the statement of the long-serving monarch in Cameroon, the action of the West traditional rulers in Etodi signifies no respect for their subjects, their well-being, and customs of the villages. The one who was going to look after the goats has become the one who pricks the goats. By living like that, who are you leaving someone's village to? They cry so much that you don't understand. A traditional ruler is meant to be the husband of the widows, father of orphans, protector of the sick, the sword, and umbrella of the village. If he ignores the cries of his people, he has lost his way. The famous king reminds the traditional rulers of their responsibilities. Our traditions require that each chief guards his own house, keeps it strong, and work for the unity, peace, and development of the land. The chief digs the roads for his people to pass through. He walks without looking back because his back is to the people. And it is the gods of these concessions who opened his eyes and guide him. The Bamenju ruler enjoins everyone to carry their own burden, respect the gods of their ancestors, and avoid actions that bring shame to the throne. To him, even if you eat and wipe your mouth when you go to the bathroom, it will smell and everyone will know, referring to the West chiefs who traveled to Yaoundé. He concludes by invoking peace and wisdom in the villages and demands every person to be accountable for their chosen path.
Meanwhile, prominent human rights advocate and president of the Center for Human Rights and Democracy in Africa, Barrister and Congo Felix Agbobala, has called on the three Anglophone presidential candidates to come together and form a coalition in order to beat the long-term President Paul Biya out of power. According to him, this will give hope to millions of Cameroonians and Anglophones in particular that dialogue is possible to end the Anglophone crisis in Cameroon. Mala Glory read through that release and compared this report for the news.
Hope is all that Cameroonians, especially those in the English-speaking regions of the country, yearn for. After years of suffering resulting from the conflict affecting the two regions, Agbobala, a renowned human rights advocate, in his public statement titled Agbobala Speaks, called on the three Anglophones presidential candidates to unite and defeat Paul Biya on October 12, 2025. In his statement, Agbobala said, when leaders meet, they show maturity, they give hope. In politics, a meeting, he said, is more than just a meeting. It is a statement. It tells the nation we are willing to talk, to listen, to find a common ground. It shifts the narrative from a rivalry to possibility. This message comes after former Minister of Tourism Bello Boba Maigari met with the former Minister of Employment and Vocational Training Issa Chiroma Bakari at his residence in Yaoundé, though the objective of this meeting was not disclosed. But according to Agbobala, the fact that two presidents of different political parties are seen together sends a strong signal that dialogue is possible and unity begins with a conversation, emphasizing that for political figures like these to meet changes public perception, a gesture to be emulated by three Anglophone presidential candidates, O.C. Joshua of the Social Democratic Front, Ateke Gaston of the Liberal Alliance Party, and Akere Muna on the Universe Party. The former political detainee and prominent voice in the quest for justice and inclusive dialogue in Cameroon, Agbobala's appeal is directed to the Anglophones candidates vying for president in a country long heated by regional tension.
Thank you, Gloria. Away from politics, we talk about this fire incident which happened in Buea. That was last night. About 15 persons, including adults and children in Bunduma Bokoko, have been rendered homeless following a fire incident which happened there yesterday evening. Witnesses say the fire began from sparks of an electric cable, then spread fast to other rooms of the house, reducing it to almost ashes. Rex Afon tells us more from Buea.
This is what remains of what used to be a home for about 15 persons here in Bunduma Bokoko after the fire incident.
Right now, I don't even know where to go because already I'm confused. I don't have anywhere to go now because everything is born, all my children things, even the newborn baby, everything born. So my life now is totally confused.
The building, which was made of wood, is said to have caught into flames after sparks were seen from an electric cable from one of the rooms in the house.
We were at home, then some children came and alerted us that a cable is burning behind the house. We ran there and succeeded to extinguish the fire, but the smell of a burning cable persisted.
We only smell for cable the cement.
Before I got home, the fire had consumed a room. We tried to stop it from spreading, to no avail.
The fierce nature of the flames made the inhabitants powerless. They just had to watch the house burn to ashes.
They try, but there's no way because there's the landlord have 2 gas bottles. This tenant have 2 gas bottles, this one have 1, and so on. So all the gas bottles explode. So that is what we cannot even lose it. So it just end like that.
While these people lament over their homelessness due to the fire incident, others decry the abandonment of this heap of uncollected waste still in Bunduma, which not only is a threat to the health of the locals here, but also a serious danger to road users, considering the waste now occupies a significant portion of the road. Buea, which has been described to be hospitable to humans, some inhabitants say, is now more hospitable to uncollected waste than it is to them.
Over to Banga, where security forces of the Banga Territorial Gendarmerie Brigade have apprehended 3 suspects who have been launching a series of attacks in Banga. The arrest was possible thanks to the information provided by the population, especially road users in Kompina and Kumbi. Luciliengo is here, has more.
Since the beginning of the year 2025, insecurity has taken an upward turn in Banga, Mongo division of the Littoral region. Attacks, killings and kidnappings orchestrated by bandits have been on the rise. In response to this alarming situation, the population of Banga filed a series of complaints to denounce the insecurity they are facing. Following successful investigations launched by the Banga Territorial Gendarmerie Brigade, 3 suspects were arrested.
Le 5 août 2025, la brigade a été informée.
On the 5th of August 2025, the brigade was informed by road users about a group of 3 unidentified individuals traveling from Douala to Banga.
Voilà pour Banga.
According to Senior Warrant Officer Alifa Umar, commander of the Banga Territorial Gendarmerie Brigade, These suspects had as modus operandi attacking people on the highway, sometimes stabbing or cutting their victims with knives or machetes before seizing their bikes or belongings.
Ce dernier, c'est des brigands qui ont l'habitude d'agresser les paisibles citoyens sur la route.
Aged between 20 and 27, the alleged bandits primarily carried out the operations in Kompina and Kombe on bikes on high speed.
Et c'est avant-hier qu'ils ont été déférés au...
To ensure justice prevails, the suspects have been transferred to the Konsamba Court of First Instance to answer for their crimes. While investigations continue, security forces urge Cameroonians to remain vigilant and report all illegal activities.
Now let's talk education. There are some 300 students who, after having succeeded in the GCE Advanced Level Examination, were invited by local authorities of Mamfe in the Emmanuel Division for a career orientation workshop. The initiative marks a significant step in guiding youth as they forge their education. Details with Cedric Chakuntio.
After having obtained their GCE Advanced Level Certificate for the 2024-2025 school academic year, youths in Mamfe Emmanuel Division were sensitized on the importance of this certificate during a significant career orientation workshop organized by local authorities of the area.
You must not be employed by the state, and you must not wait for the state to employ you before you work. You should have something that you can do with your hands, with your head, and have money on your own. Once the society knows that you are a civil engineer, you are an architect, then they will come to you.
The event, where at least 300 students were present, had as objective to equip young individuals with essential insight into their future career paths.
I have this worry. I just want to find out, or I want to ask, if becoming an engineer actually needs a particular personality type.
During the meeting, the deputy mayor emphasized on the importance of proper guidance in career choices.
I have also been a student today at my age. There are many things that I don't know about the schools, but I think that we've learned a lot from those who've come to help build up our minds towards career choices. Any good student who came here and has been here with his or her mind would surely go back home with some story to tell those who didn't have the opportunity to be here with us today.
The career orientation workshop did not only provide essential insight into various careers options, but also reinforced the commitment of the Mamfe Council to the development of its youth.
In a moment, let's tell you how Cameroon is faring today. Communication still remains a major obstacle to the people and inhabitants of villages of Mbang Mesak, a locality in the Nyong and Fumu division of the Central region. The natives of this village must travel to Ayos in the Central region just to make a telephone call. Besides the communication lapses, water is a very rare commodity. In that village, the natives of Mbang Mesak, as well as those from the Ndele village, lack the precious liquid, forcing them to drink water from doubtful sources. To make the situation worse, no health center is found in that village. Smart Jikan Gabriel has more.
Color shouldn't frighten you. It is not fuel nor kerosene, but is water consumed in the Mbang Mesak village in Ayo subdivision, Young and Fumu division of the Central region, where we work on our farmland. We have water crisis. During dry seasons, we have serious water issues. It's now that we are managing with either stream or rainwater. It's not helping us health-wise, but we don't have a choice. Life at Mbang Mesak is very difficult, as for one to get water, they must have covered a very long distance into the forest. Where the river began, water was descending to get into the sea. We decided to dig here so that when it is passing, some will stay back in the lake from where we fetch water that we drink.
puiser de l'eau pour consommer.
The source of the drinking point is here, Biili, a water that runs through farms right up to the venue where the village have made their source. We protected it so that dirt won't get into the water. We usually ensure that dirt doesn't get into it so that we can use it.
Chaque fois on creuse encore pour que la saleté quitte afin que nous consommons.
You telling an inhabitant of Mbang Mesak that water doesn't have color nor taste means nothing to them, as they drink the water without any sickness. They now believe that their body have developed antibodies that could fight against any possible infections. We have been drinking it and nothing has happened to us, even though sometimes we have some stomach disorder, but we have to support it since we don't have another source. While walking, I wet my throat a bit with it because we are already used to it. Even if I drink, I will never have problems. The people of Mbang Mesak are not suffering alone. They are joined by neighboring natives of Ndele village who have the same problem of water scarcity. We have this big problem because during dry season, if they show you the type of water I drink, you won't believe your eyes. Only the water color will make you to lose your taste. As a result of the water quality, natives of Mbang Mesak and Ndele are exposed to all types of sickness. To make matters worse, no health center exists in the village. We don't have a health center. We have to instead run to Ayos, whether during the day or at night. Sometimes, when your child is sick, en route to the hospital in Ayos, it's not strange for your child to die because Ayos is far. Sometimes you don't even see a bike to carry you, so you're supposed to walk to Ayos. Ndele and Mbang Mesak are cut off from the rest of the world because communication with the urban centers is also difficult.
Now we treat you to news out of our national frontiers. The Niger Bar Council announced a 2-day strike which has to begin today. They are protesting the decision of the Minister of Interior, who plans dissolving a union of judges known as Syndicat Autonome des Magistrats du Niger. And over to Senegal, a controversy surrounds the exemption of the president from declaring his assets at the end of his mandate. Our foreign page roundup with Immaculate Fobri.
In Niger, a union of judges known as Syndicat Autonome des Magistrats du Niger is strongly opposing its dissolution along with 4 other justice sector unions. The dissolution was ordered by the Minister of Interior last week. The Minister of Justice, Aliou Daouda, stated that the unions weren't working to ensure the proper functioning of the public justice service, but rather promoting personal interest. The union denounces the decision as arbitrary, citing that it undermines the separation of powers amid growing restrictions on freedoms. The union has already initiated legal proceedings against the dissolution order. The Niger Bar Council announced a 2-day strike on August 14 and 15, 2025 to protest the dissolutions. Over to Senegal, a draft law on asset declaration to be presented to the National Assembly on August 18, 2025 has drawn criticism from the opposition. The controversy centers on a provision that exempts the President of the Republic from declaring their assets at the end of their term. The PASTEF party argues that this falls under the purview of the Constitution. However, the law will require public prosecutors, investigating judges, local authorities, auditors, and heads of public companies to declare their assets. Doudou Wade of the Senegalese Democratic Party (PDS) finds the text insufficient as it doesn't require the outgoing president to make the asset declaration public. Meanwhile, Amadou Ba, vice president of the PASTEF parliamentary group, defends the draft, citing that the constitution only requires the president to declare assets at the start of their term. Authorities plan a constitutional revision to extend the assets declaration requirement to the end of the president's term.
25 minutes past 6 p.m. That does it for the first part of the news. Let's now move on to Talking Point. Welcome back, viewers. Our guest tonight is Emmanuel NDIWUM. He is of the civil society in Cameroon, and we will be talking about the difficulties of having a unique candidate for the opposition in Cameroon. Thank you, Emmanuel, for accepting to be our guest. We took you by surprise somehow. For some time now, we have seen the opposition presidential candidates struggle to form a coalition ahead of the October 12th election. They have been having, some of them have been having meetings upon meetings to no avail. What do you think is the major stumbling block, Emmanuel?
Yes, and it's no longer a secret that a coalition is not possible. It is not possible because the opposition leaders have failed us. They have failed to unite. They have failed to come together. They have failed to speak with one voice. And you see, at this moment I'm talking, I listened to Honorable Tomano Ndamjoya, who is giving her reasons why the Fumban gathering, which would later met in Yaoundé for a 3-day conclave, could not work out because some people, notably PUS, PAL, FSNC of Isachurum Abakari, had their own agenda, and they could not give in to other people.
But now, Mr. Emmanuel, recently supporters of some candidates, you were already mentioning them, like Patricia Ndamjoya, Barrister Keremuna, etc., met in Fumban to come up with a unique candidate to represent them. They even one time received blessings for Sokuju of the Bamenju people. Can we say the idea of having a unique candidate should be dropped and all of them go in dispersed ranks? Now, will that not already be giving a victory to the candidates for Buea?
There is no possibility that there will be a coalition. The ruling party must be smiling and smiling very well now. The fact that these people have been meeting and up till now nothing concrete has come out of it tells it all. It has failed. Opposition once more has failed. So we are the ones now to think of what to do, the way forward. The opposition we're believing in has decided to go in dispersed ranks. And I must be sincere with you, nobody can win Mr. Buea as an individual. We have said, we have been singing. I don't care who is leading the coalition. My vote goes for a coalition. I am voting for a coalition. No matter the face that is behind the coalition or the face that is leading the coalition, I go for a coalition, and that is all. And I think we are taking note of all those political parties that have made it practically impossible for any coalition to take place. And we are calling on zero sanction, that is sanctions on them, which is zero vote to such parties.
Now, Emmanuel, before we go, are you by any way saying that there is somehow a zero chance of having a coalition produce a unique candidate come October 12th?
We have an opposition that has succeeded to build a coalition in photos, in cameras, but backstage that failed to do the right thing. And honestly speaking, it is no longer possible. The ball is back in our hands, Cameroonians, and we have to play it the way we can play it. Cameroon opposition once more has been dressed in a public suit of shame and disgrace.
You seem to really be in a tight corner, Sir Emmanuel. Thank you for your effort. Thank you for accepting to be our guest tonight. And viewers, that was what we put together for you on the news. Thank you so much for being with us. Our programs continue tonight. Equinoxe Soir comes up in about 30 minutes, and the news in the French language will be yours at 8 p.m. Stay with us on Equinoxe Television, and happy Assumption Day to all the Catholic faithful out there. Bye-bye for now.